Dean, thanks for joining us. Just catching up about the under-21s, under-23s. How have things been going? You had a game against Peterborough on Tuesday, lost 4-2. What did you make from that?
It was a weird game. We started terribly. Our defensive performance in the first 30 minutes was nothing short of horrendous, to be honest. We had a lot of chances as well at the other end, and sometimes when you concede goals that early, people are very quick to look at the back four and look at the defensive protection that they're getting from the midfield, but actually we were culpable at both ends of the pitch because we created some good chances and we didn't put them in the net, but defensive mistakes were quite basic and we weren't aggressive enough to get up to the ball, weren't aggressive enough to win the first ball, and they came out flying and they caught us cold, and we got what we deserved really in the first half. Went in at half time, had a chat to the boys. I was quite stern with my words to them because the performance wasn't good enough, and it's not a position that they've been in very often because they've had a very successful run under Rossi and they've had a good start with myself. So it's not something that they probably face very often, to be down at half time and to be down 4-0. We talked about the shape, we talked about how to counter the shape, and we talked about what we needed to do in and out of possession, and we came back out second half and it was a much better performance. We scored 2 goals, could have scored quite a few more, and they were limited in their chances. They made a few changes, brought a few younger players on. I think they thought that the game was done, and actually we could have scored a few more. So even from 4-0 down, I just challenged the group to win the second half and treat it as a fresh game. So it was a positive that we won the second half, but overall the game was disappointing because the group didn't show how good they are and how high they should be performing.
There were a couple of senior players involved that first team haven't seen a vast amount of yet. Talk us about David Tatonda. I think it was Dan Sweeney involved as well. How did those guys get on?
Dan Sweeney's done well since he come in. He's started to really improve and he's getting up to the speed of what we need for League 2. Much quicker on his feet. His receiving skills have improved. His distributions has got better, and he's starting to show why we were interested in bringing him in, and he did well. Very competitive as well. He's got a fantastic attitude and he'll really fight for every single ball in and out of possession. Not afraid to open his mouth and tell people what they need to do as well. So from an attitude perspective, he's been brilliant. David started the game a little bit slow. Very good in possession, travelling up pitch. He's a great athlete. Gets into some really great spots in the final third. Needs to work on his final ball a little bit, but he's he's one for the future, and he showed some real positive aspects to his game. So both of them had some bits to work on, but showed some really good things that that we can build on in the future.
And as you alluded to, you've obviously had a very good start since stepping up, but you learn more from defeats than victories, I imagine.
We do, yeah, and it was frustrating on Tuesday because we got into the change room at half time and they talked about the shape that Peterborough were playing. They played the diamond, and players were talking about being overloaded in midfield, but 75% of the group that I had on Tuesday played the diamond for 2 years with the youth team. So they know what other teams used to do to counter the diamond, and they know how to beat the diamond, get the ball out wide, try and get overloads, and if not, switch the play to make the side of the diamond do a lot of work. So it was frustrating that the group didn't manage themselves during the game and actually talk to each other and get each other to solve the puzzle. It took to half time for us to talk about it, for them to solve it. So actually, from that perspective, I understood from the group that maybe they should be confident enough to tell each other what to do, and hopefully in the games to come, when they're presented with a similar problem, a similar formation, or a 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2, they've got 2 big centre forwards, it won't take anything from the sideline. Hopefully they'll be self-motivated enough and confident enough in their knowledge to be able to say to each other, look, this is how we solve the puzzle, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and hopefully in the future they'll be able to do it themselves.
Since we last spoke, there's been some lads who have obviously been out on loan. How have those guys been getting on? What's the latest on them?
Reviews have been good in the whole. At different levels, playing at clubs that are struggling, clubs that are top of the league, clubs that are challenging for promotion, so all of them are getting something a little bit different. Through myself, through the academy staff, through the recruitment staff, we've managed to send one player out, one member of staff out to see every single player in every game so far, except for Tyler Brown's game at Guernsey. He flew there in the morning, flew back in the evening. Great experience for him, but we couldn't get anyone there to watch that game. But the good thing is that some of the players are playing for clubs that are really fighting for something. A couple of boys are at clubs at the bottom of the league, so they're having to defend for their lives. Some of the boys, Joe Payne was in a game the other night with Grays, and they were playing top of the league, and they won one and they scored in the 95th minute to get their first win in about 7 or 8 games. So that's suddenly an amazing experience for himself. He's got old ladies kissing him, from the crowd. He's never experienced this before. So it's something that the players, it's a new experience for them. And I've been to watch players, and it's just to see how they manage in the men's game. And they'll lose a few physical battles here and there, but their technique and their understanding of the game gets them through. And the reports we've had back from the loan clubs have been really positive. So we're hoping that however long this runs for, whether they get extended for another 28 days after it expires, that it will be a great experience for us and for them.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Cheers.